About 37% of tech workers laid off in 2022 have not been able to find employment in the tech sector.
The time that workers stay unemployed after a layoff for workers with exactly a bachelor's degree, it has been skyrocketing.
With nearly 6 in 10 tech workers fearing job loss due to the advancement of artificial intelligence, uncertainty in the sector is palpable.
85% of the 1,800 people polled are worried about keeping their job in the new year.
As if that weren't enough, job postings for tech positions have reached their lowest point in 5 years, signaling a labor market readjustment.
Job listings there down between 30 and 40%.
Despite all this, some indicators predict that 2025 could mark the beginning of a recovery in the tech labor market. With countless analysts forecasting an increase in demand for AI developers, it seems that the dark age of the tech sector may be coming to an end. So, will tech jobs come back? And if so, when? The tech labor market in the United States has undergone a profound transformation in recent years. Following an unprecedented boom driven by the pandemic, the industry entered a period of adjustment characterized by mass layoffs, reduced hiring, and a decline in salaries in the tech sector.
There's been a significant decline in salaries across the U.S. Our data shows that salaries have decreased for tech workers at about 12.1%.
This contraction phase generated uncertainty about the future of tech employment, particularly among software developers, data engineers, and systems specialists. However, recent indicators suggest that 2025 could mark the beginning of a sustained recovery in the sector. According to a report, the industry is moving away from mass hiring strategies to focus on the quality of each new hire.
Is really being thoughtful in terms of who we're going to hire, where we're going to hire, and we're keeping a very close eye on the compensation data.
This shift, although less visible in total employment figures, represents an evolution toward a more skilled, specialized workforce, adapted to an AI-dominated environment. The U.S. tech sector experienced rapid growth after the pandemic, with companies expanding their engineering teams to meet the increasing digitalization of the economy. In 2021, more than 260,000 new tech jobs were created in the United States, representing a 7% increase compared to the previous year. However, starting in 2022, the market began to cool down. Between 2022 and 2023, more than 300,000 tech workers were laid off. Companies such as Meta, Amazon, and Google led massive cuts, justifying these decisions as a natural correction after the overhiring of the post-pandemic period and the need to refocus resources in light of generative AI advancements.
150,000 tech workers have been laid off in 2022 alone.
In this context, many companies significantly downsized their recruiting teams and froze new hires, while others opted to outsource part of their operations to contractors or offshore teams. According to a report, 28% of U.S. tech leaders prioritized hiring contractors outside the United States in 2024, up from 19% the previous year. Despite the setbacks of recent years, the outlook for 2025 shows positive signs. According to the same report, U.S. tech employers project an average of nearly 300 software developer openings, representing a 12% year-over-year increase. Although the figure is still far from pre-pandemic levels, it indicates an incipient recovery in demand for tech talent. This reactivation, however, does not imply a return to the previous model of explosive growth. Companies are adopting a more selective approach, prioritizing highly qualified candidates. This is reflected in a 12% increase in the average technical interview scores required to receive a job offer. In other words, a higher technical level is now required to secure employment, pointing to even greater professionalization in the sector.
With the rise of artificial intelligence and an oversaturation of talent, actually getting a job as a software engineer is much more difficult now.
Moreover, global hiring has become a dominant strategy. 81% of engineering leaders plan to hire overseas talent from countries like India and the Philippines. This trend responds not only to the search for cost efficiency, but also to large tech companies' desire to expand into more countries, mainly those with low labor costs. However, this shift toward internationalization also intensifies competition for local American workers. One of the main drivers of the labor market transformation is the rise of artificial intelligence. It is estimated that 60% of tech managers in the U.S. plan to hire AI engineers in 2025, up from 35% in 2024. This trend reflects the growing influence of AI in technology business models and in mass-market digital products.
We're seeing about 20% increase over prior year's trajectory in hiring for tech workers, and a lot of that has been powered by AI.
The demand for talent is not limited to purely technical roles like machine learning model development, but also includes cross-functional skills such as AI API integration, data analysis, and the use of automated assistance tools in the programming process. The emergence of prompt engineering as a sought-after skill in the market illustrates how quickly professional profiles are being redefined. This pivot to AI is also reshaping the map of tech employers. Sectors traditionally outside Silicon Valley's core, such as financial services, are gaining ground in hiring tech workers. For instance, the percentage of computer science graduates from Cornell University entering the financial sector grew from 16% in 2022 to 22% in 2024. At Carnegie Mellon's Heinz College, the figure rose from 16% in 2019 to 19% in 2024. Companies like JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Citizens Financial Group are investing in artificial intelligence to modernize platforms and personalize services. This phenomenon offers new opportunities for tech professionals, but also requires a greater ability to adapt to regulated environments with high demands in terms of data security and privacy. The evolution of the tech labor market must be understood in the context of a broader U.S. labor market that, despite some signs of slowing down, continues to show remarkable resilience. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in March 2025, the national unemployment rate stood at 3.8%, one of the lowest in the past 50 years. However, with nearly 4 in 10 laid-off tech workers unable to find employment in 2025, the general sentiment among workers tells a different story.
The jobs market is in a really, really weird place right now, and there's this historic gap between the number of workers looking for employment and the number of jobs out there.
Likewise, job creation has lost momentum. In the first 3 months of 2025, the average monthly job growth was 165,000 positions, below the 2023 average of approximately 250,000 tech jobs. This slowdown is hitting sectors like manufacturing, retail, and logistics the hardest. In the medium term, demand for workers with technical training or AI experience is expected to continue growing. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that occupations in data science, software development, and systems analysis will grow between 20% and 30% by 2032, well above the national job growth average of 3%. Tech employment in the United States is undergoing a redefinition. After a period of uncontrolled expansion, followed by a sharp adjustment, the industry appears to have found a new balance focused on talent quality, specialization in artificial intelligence, and expansion into global labor markets with lower labor costs.
Despite recession predictions and then the Fed's tightening, even in tech where we've seen waves of layoffs and steep valuation declines, workers have largely been able to find open positions.
Although the recovery in employment numbers will be gradual, there are solid foundations for a rebound in 2025 and beyond. This sector's rebirth will not replicate past growth patterns. Instead, it will demand new skills, greater adaptability, and a broader view of the labor ecosystem. The integration of artificial intelligence is shifting the boundaries of what it means to work in tech, opening opportunities in sectors such as finance, healthcare, and education. In short, tech jobs will return, but not as before. They will return with new requirements, in new industries, and under new rules. Those seeking to enter the reconfigured labor market will face the challenge of staying at the forefront of innovation, refining AI-related skills, and adapting to a constantly evolving work environment.
At Economy Media, your opinion matters to us. Subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments below.